I can go live. I don't know what happened with YouTube, but usually when you start streaming, it takes a while until you can go live. Like, it loads. And tonight, I guess there's a lot of server load or something because it took more than 10 minutes almost. But I'm here now. I'm here, chat. I'm here for you. I will entertain you. I'll do my best. And just a quick reminder that next week we are watching RoboCop. RoboCop. My God. The more I watch movies from the 90s, the more accurate they are. Like, it's such a contemporary political commentary, you've no idea. Like Demolition Man. You would swear that Demolition Man is a modern political commentary, wouldn't you? But it was done in the 90s. So, what are you guys doing? How was your night? I noticed that Andrew Tate's lawyer has spoken today. And because of that, a lot of people were asking me, like, why do I not cover the interview? I'm covering it tomorrow. Yeah. And it was a very interesting interview. It's amazing how professional the Romanian press is. Didn't interrupt the lawyer even once. Asked pertinent questions. Didn't call Tate misogynist, far right. None of that. Just like asked questions about the case and the lawyer answered. It's almost like the way interviews should be done, and people judged for themselves. But the Americans are unhappy every single time. Every single time I make a video about Tate, there's three groups of people. You know, the groups of people that, obviously, the majority, my fans, which appreciate my work. And then I have the group of people that are upset that I'm not defending Andrew Tate. And the other group of people that are upset that I'm not condemning Andrew Tate. I mean, I do have biases, okay? I will, okay, fine, I'll tell you my bias. You want to know my bias? I don't think that the government is out to get him. I don't think he's like an Epstein figure that everyone is trying to point out. He's like Jeffrey Epstein, and the people, like, literally, he's at the hospital and they're saying, oh, well, this is what is going to happen. This is what is going to happen. This is going to end him. It's like, no, okay. I don't think that. Like, what why would they? I don't even think, like, he's not involved into politics. He doesn't have blackmail on people. He's just a guy on the internet that says, stuff about masculinity and shit. Why is the Matrix out to get him? Yeah, sure, they wanted to censor him. Because, and I know why they wanted to censor him. It's because the censors, they're paid to figure out who to censor next. And he was an easy target. He was growing too large. But I do believe that, like, looking at him, he's a fucking douchebag. I'm sorry to say this, alright, but he looks like a mafia guy. In fact, he even brags about it in some of his videos. Yeah, I do think he money laundered. I do think that some of the women he spoke with, he was using them for nefarious purposes, like money launder his stuff, right? Oh, he doesn't parrot certain things on the internet that are true and based. Okay, congratulations, but that doesn't mean that just because he does that, he can't be a criminal at the same time. I do think he misled women in order to come to Romania. Yeah, it's most likely that he psychologically abused a couple of them based on the evidence that I'm seeing. Right? Initially, I gave the benefit of the doubt, but now that I see the chat logs, now that I see the things that are happening, collaborating with some of the videos and what he previously stated, collaborating with his behaviors and the type of person he presents himself as, he looks like a grifter. I'm sorry to say this. Alright? Like, if you like him, that's up to you, but I don't understand why you want me to like him either, as well. Right? Like, my opinion on him is not going to change the situation he is in. And he got himself into this situation, by the way. It's not that I put him there. So I do not understand why people are so upset that I'm not either defending or accusing him. But now you know how I feel, alright? Yes, I do think he's a douchebag. He's not the type of individual that I would like as a friend. And I do not believe that this is the same case like an American getting Me Too'd. Like some random guy having a woman coming up and making one accusation. There clearly are wiretaps and the evidence. He's got chat logs being released. He's got 5 women coming out. It's not just him that's being arrested. It's like 2 other women that worked with him. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at this and it seems like an actual case. It seems like a legitimate trial. And it seems that he legitimately may have done something bad. And it's all the thing. It's like, oh, well, but like he said that the government is after him. Like, well, if you're committing crimes, of course you're going to say that the government is after you so that people defend you. It's just, am I being unreasonable, chat? Again, when this whole thing started, I was on his side. I was like, okay, well, he's, maybe he's getting me too. Maybe he pissed off someone. But like, the more things come out, the more evidence is being released, and you're seeing like, okay, well, so many things that are adding up, like the previous videos that he released. And yeah, sure, like he can go along and he can have like a very interesting take about why Western society isn't doing so well. And I saw him with Piers Morgan. I saw some of his TikTok videos. Yeah, like some of the things he's saying are true. Of course. What does that one have to do with another? You can be a criminal and you can also be a very charismatic person that talks sense. I don't understand why people cannot believe that the two can coexist. I'm a person of substance? Oh. You forgot the Asian emoji to add to that. I don't know a single person that poses with expensive cars and big cigars and likes to display the wealth and luxury. Like, didn't we used to have a name for that? It was douchebag. Is my English lacking? We used to have it in Romania. It's cocalar. Almost every single language has a name for these people. It's not necessarily that, okay, well, if you're a douchebag, you're a criminal. But at the same time, like, dude, must I like every douchebag on the internet? I think Tate being a face of men's rights or anything like that is a negative thing. Well, here's the problem. You can't pick and choose, right? You go to war with the army you got, as they say. If Andrew Tate makes legitimate arguments, right? Like, if he makes... Because sometimes he does. I have seen videos with him where he says something and I can't disagree with that. I can't refute that shit. Okay, like that's a good argument. But either than that, like, what do you want me to say? If he's being accused of doing criminal activity and it seems that the prosecutors actually have a case there, do you want me to say, well, no, because he's making good MRA arguments. I should not... Come on. Thank God V is finally speaking his mind on the Tate thing. Got tired of the fanboys crying that Tate is a saint. Again, I would not be surprised, right? If he goes to trial and he comes out innocent. There can be different reasons for that. Can be that the investigators have botched the investigation. Can be that they do not have evidence and this is why they're trying to appeal to the court of public opinion. Could be many reasons. Could be that he's innocent and didn't do it. I haven't seen the case file. But you're asking me what I think at this moment. At this moment, I think that he's probably guilty. Now, if it goes to trial and I see different evidence, right, and the lawyer comes out and provides a different turn of events, I'll change my mind. But until then, since people keep asking me, I have to say what my mind is. I can change my mind, just fine. Like if it exposes that, all these women that are coming out, they're having a, they were paid by the U.S. Embassy or some shit. And I'm like, okay, well, it's clear. Yeah, not to mention, like many of the things that he is saying, it's common knowledge among conservatives. Like he's not saying some mind-blowing stuff like Lindsay, like James Lindsay, who's interpreting the woke issues and it's spinning them in a different light. He's not doing any of that. He's just saying things that, okay, what does he say? Go to the gym, work out. Don't be a simp. Oh my God, this is like, I wish I thought of that. The thing is, I will tell you why a lot of people are defending him. Because of cancel culture, like him being canceled from all social media platforms, made him into a martyr and a victim. If they wouldn't have canceled him, most people wouldn't even know who the fuck Andrew Tate is. I didn't know who Andrew Tate is. I had no fucking idea. Like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I didn't even know who the man is. But because of the cancel culture, everyone is thinking, oh, well, he must be against the system. There's a lot of people who got canceled that aren't against the system. Like, you don't understand how cancel culture works. There are people that are paid in order to censor. That is their fucking job. In order to maintain their job, they have to censor someone every year. You know, someone of high profile. So that they can justify why they're getting paid. Now, this year it was Andrew Tate's turn. You know, that's pretty much how it works, unfortunately. Shouldn't work like that, but it's how it works. It's nothing like, again, if he was involved into politics, if he was like supporting political candidates, if he was having blackmail on some people, I would get it. But like, he doesn't do any of these. This is like an average Joe with a TikTok channel. I don't think that people care as much as you guys think they care. It's literally the argument, he's not woke, so he must be a great guy. And again, I just want to hammer the point, okay? Just because he's let's say he's a criminal, right? Let's say he actually did all the things that he's accused of. That doesn't mean that the things he's saying aren't correct. I mean, you know, a person can say something that's true, like Hitler can say 2 + 2 = 4. That doesn't mean that it's not 4, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Some things are correct. I wouldn't emulate his lifestyle, by the way. And the thing that really boggles my brain, alright? Like I know certain people on the internet, especially on Twitter, and they go around and, you know, like, they're against anime, because, like, oh, anime is a gateway to, I don't know what even bullshit they say. It's like, oh, it's a gateway to transgenderism, whatever. You know, anime bad because fan service, basically, you know? And the same people that anime bad because fan service, oh my god, Andrew Tate. And I'm thinking, like, okay, so this man is literally running a business of OnlyFans, right? Like, this is what he does. Like, he gets women, I mean, legitimately, right? Like, the actual business. He gets women to make naughty pictures, and he uploads them on the internet, right? So you don't like anime because of fan service, but you like a man whose entire business is to convince women to sell pictures of themselves on the internet. And you're trying to tell me that you, for some fucking reason, have a moral compass? Maybe you just like to go against anime to be contradictory twat in that case. I wouldn't say he's a pimp. I mean, I don't know. You know, it depends what we're going to see after the trial. But clearly, you know, like, his business, while legitimate, isn't a business you should be proud of. Like if you're a person that doesn't like cam girls, if you don't like Twitch thoughts, how can you justify liking this guy? He's literally creating Twitch thoughts. Like, he's just, like, mass producing them. Same with people who don't like VTubers. Oh my god, I don't like VTubers. Why? Because they're polluting the minds of the youth. Okay, but you like Andrew Tate. I don't get it. Like, maybe someone in the chat can explain to me. Just so you can understand, I have nothing against the business that Andrew Tate is running if it's legitimate, right? So, like, the idea of a person buying a studio and then hiring women to post pictures online, I don't give a shit, right? But I don't care about the anime fan service either. At least I'm fucking consistent. I'm like, you know, capitalism. If there's a product, people want to buy it, sell it to the people. That's my stance on these things. So I'm not criticizing Andrew Tate's business if it's not legit. Right? But what I am saying is that I don't understand other people who are like, oh, anime fan service is so bad. Oh, Twitch thoughts. Oh my god. Oh, Andrew Tate. Oh, Would you like Andrew Tate to have a conversation with your daughter if you're a conservative? Like, seriously. Right? Like, if you have a daughter, you're worried about my children. The difference between you and I is that I do not worry about my children. That we're not the same. I don't fucking care. I think children are the responsibility of the parents. I don't think I need to get the internet to parent your kids for you. So, with that out of the way, if you're worried about my children, how would you like if someone like Andrew Tate spoke with your daughter and asked her to go to another country so that she can upload ushi-kushi pictures of her on the internet? Is that something that you would like? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really grooming, right? Because they're adults. But still, if you have a woman that would never do OnlyFans, and you have this guy coming into her life and asking her to do OnlyFans, As a father, would you like that? Is this something that you want other people to emulate? Is this like... Because this is what I don't understand. Anyway. I don't think Tate minds being called a pimp. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. But it's just like 4 days where people wanted me to say what I think about this issue. So I finally spoke about the issue, I guess. What number of e-girls are giving their money to their boyfriends? It depends on the country, man. Like, here in Romania, believe it or not, most couples spread the wealth, right? So, like, for example, if I ask my wife for money, like, she gives me money. It's not something that's taboo. I mean, it depends, right? Like, sometimes she asks me, sometimes I ask her. Like, right now, because I'm paying all of my money to the mortgage, almost everything that I do, like, she's the one that does the grocery shopping and everything else. So, you know, like, realistically speaking, I mean, I am bringing money to the house. It's just that because it goes to the bank and you don't get to see it on the table, it feels like she's paying more. But this is just something that's happening in Eastern Europe, right? Like, the couples both share the income in the house. I don't know if it's like that in America. Like the vibe that I'm getting is that, at least from my chat, it seems like the women, they just only care about the money, never give wealth. I mean, I'm curious, right? Like, if you're a guy, let's say, and you date Pokimane. Let's say you date Pokimane before she became famous, right? So you've been boyfriend before that. Do you not think that she would give some of the money? I mean, I don't know. I don't think, like, they're that greedy. Like, if you're a millionaire and you have so much money that you don't know what to do with it, even if it's a woman, like, I think she would give money to her husband if he asks. I don't know. A real man puts food on the table. I mean, we can switch, you know? Like, she can pay the mortgage and I can buy the food, but I think it would be more problematic for her. Tate is just another symptom of men looking desperately for role models. I think that's literally it, Aiden. I think a lot of men, they just look for a role model, and now that there's so many MRAs that have been banned or ostracized, and, you know, you don't get the Karen Straughns, and you definitely don't get, like, some other role models. A lot of men are, you know, like, simps for Tate. I mean, if you look at Tate, sure, you know, you want to be like him. I mean, he's smoking cigars, he's driving expensive cars, he's surrounded by women. Of course, you know, a lot of people would want to have that lifestyle. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that particular lifestyle either, but at the same time, doesn't mean that someone who lives that lifestyle may not be a criminal. And this is the thing, right? Like, at least when I started, I was like, you know, I generally don't know anything about the case, because I didn't. And I'm not going to make an accusation. And there were people attacking me. It's like, why don't I think he is innocent? And it's like, because, like, why would I think he's innocent before I even see what the courts have against him? And the other people were like, why don't you think he's guilty? And again, like, why would I think he's guilty? And then as the days move past, and I look at the evidence, and I collaborated with what he is saying, and I look at the videos, I'm like, okay, well, to me it appears that there is a case there. It's most likely that he's guilty. Tate seems completely astroturfed. Don't believe any real people watched him any more than Spencer. Yeah, like, no one would know about him. I mean, well, okay, some people knew because he had a billion subs and whatnot. So some people did know. But a lot of normies wouldn't even know he exists. And he's being viewed like some Voldemort, by the way. Like, Tate isn't even the worst criminal, even if he did everything that he did, right? There's people far worse than him. Like Epstein, for example. But you know what's the difference? You can actually create an account with the name Epstein on EA Games, but you can't create an account with Andrew Tate. By the way, like, there was another sadistic individual, that chica from Smallville. My fucking god, I forgot her name. Right? But I just want to show you that monsters can exist, and they don't necessarily have to look evil. What's her name? Oh, Allison Mack. So Allison Mack is a perfect example. I mean, for those of you who watched Supernatural when you were kids, she played the role of like this really innocent and charming lady, and she really had the smile that could light up a room. And then you find out in the newspaper that she was running a sex cult. And she was taking women, this other guy was there, abusing them, like branding them with a hot poker. Anyway, what the fuck? But like, my point is, you know, despite that, I can still enjoy Smallville. Granted, my immersion is going to be broken a little bit. But like, just because she's a criminal doesn't mean that the art that she did, which is Smallville, is any less enjoyable. Right? Or if Alison Mack has some sage life advice about something, you know, like she tells you, don't invest in crypto. Take your money out of crypto. Buy silver. You know, like, if she says something like that, just because she's a criminal doesn't necessarily mean she's wrong. I feel bad about the other people there named Andrew Tate who cannot create an EA Games account. Man, you're saying that, but like Kyle Rittenhouse actually had this problem. I think it was with Ubisoft. Like he tried making an account with the name Kyle Rittenhouse and it wasn't allowed. And this is after his trial. Most rapists are looking fine. No, I do not agree with that. I don't like. I've been to the prison when I was at the University of Law, and I saw how the convicts lived there, and we got to talk with a couple of them. I mean, you know, like I guess some can look fine, but most no. Keith Rainier, I do not know who Keith Rainier is, but anyway. Leave it to Romania to value silver about anything else. Well, the thing like silver, first of all, it doesn't fluctuate as much as other rare metals. And it's easier to sell. Right? Because the thing, like, I really thought about, like, buying rare metals, like buying gold, right? The problem is that you can buy gold. Like, you can find places to buy it, but it's so difficult to sell it. Like, if you need money right now, it's very difficult to sell gold. So that's the reason, but and of course it depends on what country you're at. Like if you're in the United States, it's probably a lot easier to sell gold than in Romania. Here in Romania, like the best thing to do is to buy land. You buy land and then you sell it later on. Especially if you can buy land in a place where a city expands. So you buy it when there's literally like just courage the cow the dog, and after a couple of years there's manors and villas and stuff popping up, and then the land just explodes in price. Doesn't Jared Leto has his own cult? Man, I do not follow Hollywood actors, but let's put it this way. I treat every Hollywood actor as a weirdo. Like, the moment you're a Hollywood actor, I'm already thinking, like, okay, you must have done something bad. Otherwise, why would you be a Hollywood actor? Circular logic, but hey, if it works, it works. Sam Hyde does great Andrew Tate parody. I haven't watched Sam Hyde, I gotta say. But yeah, I think I said everything there is about Andrew Tate. I don't know what else to say, but like hopefully I just got this off my chest, because I am so sick and tired of having people asking me about it. My fucking god. And when I will present the other videos on my channel, I will still say the same thing. And the idea, it's like, oh, well, you just don't want to upset the Andrew Tate fans. And like, if I make a poll, I doubt it's even 10%. I doubt it's even 5%. And when I say Andrew Tate fans, I mean like people who would get legitimately upset if you say, I think, right? So just this, like if you say, I think that Andrew Tate might be guilty. If you say this, I think less than 5% of the people watching a YouTube video would be upset. Probably less than that. What about Harry and Meghan? I mean, that's another interesting thing, right? Like, when I talk about Harry and Meghan, almost no one tells me, like, what I think about them. But to be honest, like, Harry and Meghan, How can you think anything positive about? They whine every single fucking time they're on television. Every single time they're on, they cry, and then they complain about how difficult their life is, and they're both royals, and they're wealthier than I will ever be. I think like my entire generational wealth, starting from the first caveman all the way to the peasant and up to me, all of our generational wealth put together will not be able to match Harry and Meghan's wealth. But for some fucking reason, I'm supposed to care about their problems. You go into the ghetto, okay, and you pick a random person from the ghetto, they will have a more interesting life story and far more tear-jerking problems than Harry and fucking Meghan. They're so obnoxious, I cannot just... Even the American press has had enough with them. They never say anything wholesome. Not once. There is nothing wholesome about those people. I don't care that rich people cry. You know, you can be rich and you can have problems. But Harry and Meghan's problems is like, oh my god, the queen was mean to me. Oh my god, people at the royal wedding, they were mean to me. Someone said meanie beanie things about, like, shut the fuck up, go cry in your bags of money, woman. Just leave me alone, like, hire a psychologist. Why the fuck do I care? And then it's like, oh, well, you know, the environment is dying. Like, shut the fuck up, you're rich. Go live on an island or on a mountain somewhere. Just, I don't get it. You know, they have a private jet and they talk about the environment. Can you talk about the environment from your private jet to make it look even more ironic? Just you know, like, talk about the environment while you're flying the private jet, please. Make sure you catch the pilot in the shot as well. It's not even... it's not even like you don't like... Like, you know, in order to hate someone, you actually have to care. I don't even hate her. I don't hate... It's just like... Pity. I don't know what to say. Pity for Harry, I guess. My fucking god... Oh, every single time I see him, he complains about what his wife took from him. First it was the guns, then it was the tea, then it was like he wasn't able to hunt. I think like once he spoke about how he has to eat vegan food or some shit. I'm like, my god, just stop it, man. Just stop it. Get some help. Does she even respect him at this point, you know, like... My favorite part, like, you know, like, every time he opens his mouth, he looks more pitiful. Like, for example, this was in the newspaper. I don't know if you guys saw my video, but, like, when I was reading, I was like, holy shit. So, he complains that his brother said nasty things about Meghan. Now, he doesn't describe what he said, but, like, okay. So, his brother disrespected his woman. Now, apparently, the situation got hot, and his brother ripped his necklace and shoved him, and he fell to the ground. Okay, so like, just so we're clear on what happened, okay? His brother disrespected his woman, and then he got into the face of his brother who shoved him. And I'm thinking, like, why are you telling this to the public? What do you want me to do about it? Do you want me to check your brother for you? Like, if you can't check your brother... Why are you even in the room with him? Oh, he disrespected your woman. Then go to the gym. Eat better. So you can check your brother. I don't understand. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, how can I help you in this situation? You want me to give you money to your Patreon? Like, what do you want me to do? You're a royal. You have money. No, it's not on video. But like, the thing is, because that, you know, like, it can happen. Look, brothers fight. Right? Like, sometimes you get, like, a family altercation. It can happen. But why are you bragging about it? Like, why are you telling this to the public? It's shameful. You couldn't defend your woman. What? I mean... No, because Will Smith at least landed... Jesus. Will Smith at least landed the slap. Will Smith! Will Smith rolled the dice and it was a hit. Okay? Let's put it this way. Like, Will Smith was playing D&D. He needed a 5 to hit. He rolled a 5. But after that, when it was roll for damage, he rolled a 1. I just I get the comparison. I get the comparison between Will Smith and Harry, alright? Like, I do get it. But between Will Smith and Harry, I would have to say Will Smith dominated compared to Harry. Both sucked, by the way. Like, both managed to lose the respect of the public. But at least Will Smith, I would say, yeah, like, if you have a tier list, and you put Harry on F, Will Smith is a D. The Lotus video about Harry earlier today was good. I agree with pretty much what Sargon said. I haven't seen it yet. Will Smith would not do that to the man that slept with his woman. The thing is, like, it's a different situation, right? Like both of them are disrespected for different reasons. The first reason is that Will Smith, in the context that he was, like, you're at a Hollywood gala, and you have a comedian that's roasting everyone. If the comedian roasts your wife, it is expected of you as a man to not respond. Alright? Because it's that particular event. Everyone gets roasted. So it's not personal. It's business. Like, it's a business environment. If you don't like it, don't get your wife there, you know? Like that. But anyway. So him going and slapping the comedian makes him look like he can't keep his emotions in check. Makes him look very emotional and easy, like thin-skinned. Right. I don't know what Harry told to Meghan. Sorry, what Harry's brother told to Meghan. Like, maybe it was also unjustified for things to get physical. Maybe he told something really bad. It depends, right? Like, you shouldn't just act as a man whenever someone, like, disrespects your wife. It really depends, like, what they are saying. Like, if I say your wife is a bad driver and you're throwing hands, then you're a moron, right? Or if I say your wife is incapable of doing accounting, something like that, right? And you're throwing hands, like, people will judge you. But if you say that the wife is a woman of low moral fiber, a woman of the night, then yeah, you should throw hands. So it depends. But the point is, like, with Harry, it's not the fact that he got shoved which is the problem. Because of course, you know, like, sometimes, like, if you're walking on the street and this man that's twice your size spanks your wife's ass, like, what are you going to do? You're going to do jack shit. He's stronger than you, he's taller than you, you know, like, just let's go. Right? Like, there's nothing else. So you can get your ass whooped. But why are you talking about it in the public? Right? Like, imagine the situation where like, you're walking on the street, someone grabs your wife's ass, you turn around, he's twice as big as you. You have to look like this in order to see him. Right? You got... He's Muhammad Ali in his prime. Okay, so Muhammad Ali in his prime grabs your wife's ass. What do? You do nothing. That's what you do. Jack shit. You keep walking. Okay? Now, do you talk about this event? Do you brag about it? Do you expect it? No. You shut the fuck up. Go train in the gym. Become like Muhammad Ali. And then maybe you're going to be able to stand up for your wife if it keeps happening. The only thing that Harry has get is my pity. I don't even know if I have that, man. Like, he's royal. He's got money. Go cry in his bags of money. This is what I like to tell to these rich people. It's not... And when I say rich people, I don't mean like someone that has more money than me. I mean someone with a fucking palace. With a private jet. Okay, if you have a private jet, look, I have so much sympathy to go around. But at one point, I need to think of the poor. I need to think of other people like me, you know? Even people richer than me that do not have a private jet. High IQ move. Report him to the police for groping. Even reporting him to the police for groping is a lot better than just crying about it. Honestly, reporting to the police for groping, right? Like, if it's a individual that constantly causes problems in that area, yeah. That's actually a good thing. But, what I am saying is that you're not John Rambo. Like, regardless of who you are, there is someone stronger than you. You know, sometimes just going in there to get your ass whooped may not be the good idea. In fact, some women would disrespect you for that, because they would call you an idiot. Like, even, I mean, I don't know how American women are, But European women aren't imbeciles. Like, if they notice that the man that's causing problem is twice as big as their boyfriend, or they notice that it's like 6 dudes, they would understand why, like, just keep your head down, keep walking, and that's the situation. Make a masculine Harry bot. Oh, that's a good idea. I should. On Friday, though. I'm not making him one now. But like on Friday, I need to make an HR Robocop and a masculine Prince Harry. A mansion which is paid by his dad. It doesn't fucking matter, man. It doesn't matter who pays the mansion. Right? Like, some people are born in wealth, other people become wealthy and give the wealth to their children. I don't care where the wealth comes from, but if you have a private jet, I'm not hating you or anything, but if you have problems, I'll probably not care about them. And the only thing that I will say is go cry in your bags of money. That's it. If every Hollywood actor by default is a weirdo, does that mean Henry Cavill is also a weirdo? I would treat him with sus. If I meet Henry Cavill, I would be sus. But he wouldn't have much to prove. Like, he already proven a lot. There wouldn't be much to prove. Didn't you say you had a girlfriend badmouth 6 guys? Yeah, but like, she wasn't trying to get me to fight them. In her mind, she actually thought that's appropriate behavior. And when I told her, it's like, look, if you keep doing that, I'm leaving you to fight them alone. She understood. It's literally that she didn't assess the situation. Like, she literally didn't understand that bad-mouthing at them is going to lead to physical violence, right? Like, that's the problem. It wasn't that like she was trying to get me into trouble. Like, no, like the vibe that I was getting is that she was literally that low-level street smart that she thought that bad-mouthing thugs is something you can do and get away with it. And I've seen women do this alone as well. Like, it's not... I think it's like they do not have the street smarts. I do not know how else to say. Like, if you talk with a woman in the hood, like, she knows that shit. She knows exactly, like, where to walk, at what time, what hour, how to conduct herself when someone mouths at her. Yeah, mouthing off. So for those of you who do not remember the story, I pointed out that every time I walk with the guy, and this is almost universal. Like, I don't think there's a single exception to this. So you walk with the guy, and there's even like a really masculine individual, right? Like a really big fella, or like 5 or 6 other individuals, but they're starting to mouth off at you, right? And let's say that they want to mug you, or they just want to start shit, right? Like, imagine you're walking in the neighborhood and there's like this 5 guys who's like, hey, loser, what are you doing? Who allowed you to walk here? You know, like stuff like that. The correct solution is to keep walking. You don't stop. You don't interact with them, right? If they call you over, you don't go there. You just keep walking. You pretend you don't hear them, okay? That is the correct solution. But other times I was with a woman, and the woman would be like, hey, Chakita, why are you with that loser or some shit, right? The correct loser, the correct thing is to keep walking. And I told her, it's like, there's 6 of me. I'm not John Rambo, alright? You should not expect the unexpected. It's like, maybe one-on-one, I would still get my ass whooped, but there's 6 of them. What the fuck do you want me to do? Like, if you're going to mouth off, and if you're going to start insulting them, I'm leaving you here to defend yourself. Because you started the shit. I don't even think like she's taking advantage of Silver. I think you're thinking too much into it. I genuinely think they have 0 street smarts. Yeah, it's like, most of these ladies, at least the ones that I dated, it's exactly like Potty Gal said. They were very sheltered. They weren't used to the neighborhood life. Right? Because I was living in a multicultural, well, not necessarily multicultural, a neighborhood with people from all walks of life. So if you live downtown, you don't get to deal with that shit. Or if you go at high school and someone mouth offs at a girl at high school, like she can mouth off back and there's no repercussions. But when you're in the neighborhood, you can get fucked, literally. So they do not understand the danger that they're in. V bravely runs away. Man, if there's 6 guys, yes, I will bravely run away. If it's 6 guys. And not only that, if it's 6 guys and I didn't start the shit. Like, if I started the shit or the shit just started itself, then yeah, I will stay there. But if, like, the other person starts the shit, it's like, okay, finish the shit, you started it. Vibrant, yes, that, oh my fucking god, I love that word, I miss it. Vibrant neighborhood, that's exactly where I grew up. In a very vibrant... Do you notice that that's a word that doesn't exist anymore? It was like vibrant, diverse neighborhood. Women can be very cruel. Man, I never dated a cruel woman. Believe it or not, they come in different shapes and sizes as well as behavioral patterns. I have never dated a cruel woman. Discretion is the better part of valor. It's, man, like sometimes if you know that the battle is unwinnable, why even fight it? Right? Like, I'm not saying you should be a coward, but when you assess the situation and it's so over your fucking head, yeah, it's kind of like threat assessment. You know, it's like playing an MMO. You're playing an MMO and you're level 20. And this level 60 dick comes around and starts killing people. You get the fuck out of there. You know, it's like he's level 60. What are you going to do? By the way, if you want to know if a woman is cruel or not, because I see many people in the chat, the best thing to do is to go to a restaurant and see how she treats the staff. Like, take into account, and this is very important, the way she treats the staff is the way she's going to end up treating you. So if she is nice to the staff and respectful, that's a keeper. If she starts arguing with the staff, if she eye rolls, if she sighs, if she badmouths the staff, she's probably cruel. Now, it's your decision if you want to stay with her or not. But it is what it is. Still, I think that this is the best way you can assess if a person is... This works for the ladies as well, by the way. Right? Like, if you want to know if your boyfriend is a keeper, just look at how he assesses the staff. Go to a restaurant. Go to a fancy place. Does my wife tip me? No. And by the way, you can yeah, I mean, you can see how generous the person is, like if she tips the staff, if that type of thing. Sometimes the staff is incompetent. Yeah, but like if you're on a date, you're supposed to keep your shit, right? So obviously it depends on the situation, but you can assess as well if the staff really deserve being flamed. Like, okay, if it's a staff that is really that bad, then okay, you know, you can accept that she may be a little bit rude and disrespectful due to the nature of the event, but most of the times, no. Also, if you're going shopping, pay attention to how, if she puts the clothes back on the shelf rack, if she falls, that is another good point. And by the way, I noticed this. Like, do this experiment. You go to the men's store for clothing. Everything is so neatly placed. Like, everything is almost like it's brand new. And when you go to the women's store, but this only applies if the store is short on staff, right? You could see this during COVID most. And when you go to the women's store, every clothes, like there was a pile of clothes that was just thrown there. Like, just... And I would expect to see the reverse, but no. It is the shopping cart litmus test, yes. Pretty much. It's the clothing store litmus test in this case. Used to be the rewinding of the cassette tape. So, for those of you who don't remember or haven't caught the time when you had the VCR, you had the VCR tape, and you would rent it, and it was polite to rewind it so that the next person who watches it gets to watch it without having to rewind. But what I used to do is that I would go to the plot twist, to the moment that's the spoiler, to the I am your father point, right? And I would leave it exactly there so that the person who watches it gets spoiled. Is that like, do I pass the shot thing litmus test if I do that? It's so interesting because like I would never experience the person getting upset. I would never see their reaction. I would never see their suffering or their plight. But in my mind, I always knew that someone somewhere was getting angry because of what I did. It's like a very interesting level of trolling, right? Because nowadays you can see the trolling in action, right? Like you do something to upset someone online and you get to see their reaction. But what I did, I never got to see my work. It was like a trap maker, never witnessing the machinations of my design. But someone somewhere experienced it. I own a dress shop. Guys typically good about it. Women, especially more common class, tend to not put things away. I don't know why that happens. I genuinely do not know. But I'm interested if older women also do not fold their clothing. I think older women fold their clothing. You'll notice something with women as well. Like there's like I think like that mid-range. Like once they get past a certain age. I think it's with men as well, right? Like but like men, I think like once they're teenagers and they go through adulthood, like maybe at the age of 30, like they change behavior. But a woman, I think it's like 40 or 50. It's like a completely different person. Same as unplugging a Tesla for charging for someone. I never thought about that. Holy shit, now I can do that. That is such a genius take. Oh my god, I need to try this out. So you see someone plugging a Tesla, and when they're not there, you unplug the Tesla. Oh. It's not illegal, is it? Like, you're not going to get it. I need to check. So I like, this is the most important thing. I need to find out if unplugging a Tesla from charging, if it's illegal or not. I don't think it is. Well, actually, it can be. No, it can be. Like, if the person proves that they had to be somewhere. But it's actually very difficult, right? So if they prove they had to be for a job interview, like 30 minutes, and because of you unplugging the Tesla, you made them late or something. Richard Aaron, thank you for the 20. I can't stay long, but I wanted to send you some money. Hope you have a great 2023. Man, I'm not hoping for a great 2023 anymore. I'm not even wishing people Happy New Year's. Because 2020 was bad, 2021 was worse, 2022 was shit. So now I just wish people good luck with 2023. Here's hoping. Don't tell you. Well, no, the break line. Okay, the break lines is too much. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want people to be inconvenienced. There's a camera on a Tesla. So what? So what? They saw me unplug it. What are you going to do? They come up to me. Why did you unplug it? To piss you off. What next? What? Where are you going with this? Did you unplug the Tesla? Yes. Why? I felt like it. I wanted to see your face. It amuses me. I'm a very miserable person. I want to spread the misery. There's a camera on the Tesla. You should tell me where the camera is so that when I unplug it, I will do like, you know, like you give a grin like this and you like, it would actually be cooler. Oh shit! Imagine unplugging it, but like to the point where it still looks like it's plugged. Like if this would be the perfect one, right? Like you make it look like it's unplugged, but in reality it's still. It is literally a victimless crime, yes. How would it be considered vandalism? What are you vandalizing? Vandalism means damaging something. You're not damaging shit. Like the guy was charging the Tesla, you just pull the socket off and you leave it there. You don't destroy anything. How is it vandalism? I wouldn't even say I unplugged your car to save energy. I would be like, because I'm a twat. I feel like it. There's literally like it's private property. It's a crime. How? I mean, it depends where you're at. Maybe in America it is, but in Romania, I can't think of any crime. It's not theft. You're not doing vandalism. It's not damage of property, right? Like, you're not doing anything. Yeah, like, literally, unless they were missing a big meeting and they sue you. But do you know how fucking difficult that is? Like, they literally have to prove that they had a meeting. They have to get witnesses. they have to have the image of you doing the thing. Like, it's very difficult. And they also need to actually have a meeting that they missed. Yeah, like if he's late for work and gets fired, it's the same thing, right? Like, he would need witnesses. He would require to prove that he actually got fired because, you know, like he would have to prove that the amount of time going to work would have been the exact amount of time where he could recharge the car. Do you know how difficult that lawsuit is, man? I know it sounds simple. It's like, yeah, well, but even then, it's actually very difficult to win such a lawsuit. Just wear a face diaper when you unplug it. No, I want them to see who did it. How long does it take to charge a Tesla? I don't even know if we have that in Romania. I think actually we do have a couple of Teslas in Romania, but... Oh, it's unfortunate. See, apparently someone thought about my evil plan, so you need a car key to unplug Tesla. Ah, shit. Well, if you need a car key... I guess you can do something else then. You can tape it. Like, you need to find or you need to find something that doesn't damage the thing. But you should be like, you just tape over it so that they can't unplug it easy. Where's this to place a lock? Okay, this is actually... Alright, like, this one also doesn't seem like a crime. Although I would have to check, right? Placing... This is such a dick move. Oh my god. Placing a lock on a bike that you do not own. Okay, so... You don't want to steal the bike. You don't want to... You just want to inconvenience the person. So, hello, Parallel. Alright, so if you put a lock on a bike that you do not own, I don't think that's a crime. I do not think that's a crime either. What's interesting is that I actually think legally that if the person destroys your lock, then he can be forced to pay for it. I don't know if a judge will settle that case, but like literally, if you want to be a dick about it. So you put a lock on a person that has a bike, but it's not owned, and you don't want to steal the bike. And if the person destroys the lock, you can ask for the person to pay for the lock. Because the thing is, like, yeah, it's not your lock. You're not supposed to damage it. What you're supposed to do, like, legally speaking, and I'm not even kidding, you're supposed to call the cops. Like, the cops are the only ones that are supposed to take that lock away. You're tampering with this property, so what? What? Name me the penal code that says I cannot tamper with your property. And in fact, you can... I'm not even tampering with your property. I can put the lock without touching your property. Like, I can put the lock that's like, look, I'm not tampering with it. It's just your property happens to be around my lock. No, the thing is, like, if someone parks to block you in, there's actually legislation against that. Like, that's actually a legislation. Like, when you park, you're not supposed to prevent other people from leaving. So there is a law against that. But I don't think there is a single law, because no one fucking did it before. No one would take a lock and lock someone's bike. Just because, like, for literally no reason. no law that says you cannot touch people's property, right? Like if you have a car, I can just touch it if I want to. It's not illegal. I'm not allowed to damage your property. I'm not allowed to steal your property, right? But if I put a lock on your bike, I'm not damaging the bike. I'm not doing vandalism. It's not related to kidnapping. Yeah, placing a lock on a steering wheel on a car with no roof. Same thing. Like, I genuinely do not know what the crime would be. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, maybe some lawyer can figure it out, but I can't think of anything. And the reason is probably because no one does it. Is to prevent someone to leave? No, because, like, they can just take a taxi. Right? Like, I can make the argument, no, I didn't try to prevent him to leave. Like, he didn't have to take his car. He could just walk. Like, you're not being kidnapped just because someone has... Like if someone... Because if that was the case, right? Me parking in a way so that you're boxed in and now you can't leave, that doesn't mean that I kidnapped you. Right? Surely it's an inconvenience. Yeah, you can't drive your car. But that doesn't mean you're kidnapped. You can just walk away. Tampering with the usability of an object isn't a crime. Right? But the thing is, like, usually tampering with the usability of an object damages the object. So that's why it's a crime. Police does it. They put clamps on your wheels. Yeah, but the police has different jurisdiction. Like, basically, the police can commit crimes in certain circumstances. So, for example, tackling a person, right? Like, if you do it here, like, if you tackle a person, it's a criminal offense. But if a police officer does it in order to stop a criminal, that's allowed. Being a good Samaritan, I'm just preventing someone from stealing your bike. I am really curious, like, if anyone can find out if this is a crime or not. Anyway, let's think of a title for the video, because I didn't talk about the ND. I'll talk about it tomorrow. Like, how should I say? My thoughts on Andrew Tate? Or like, what? Since people ask me about Andrew Tate. Wheel boots. For the most part, you'd get in trouble for damaging the boot. Yeah, but you don't damage the boot if you put the lock. That's... The police, also known as the mafia. Years ago in Poland, kids locked up people in phone booths. They had to recite a magical girl pig transformation or they would stay stuck. That's... Okay, that is actually a crime. If you lock someone in a phone booth, it's not kidnapping, but in Romania it's called depriving someone of their liberty. Right? So, it's the same thing like if you're in a train and someone needs to get off at the station, but you prevent them from leaving just so they can't get off at their station, that's a crime. Yeah, the coolest thing about putting a lock on someone else's bike is to make it a padlock so they can actually sit there and try to find out the combinations. I never understand like why people have a padlock. It's such a dumb idea. Like I don't think there's a padlock that you can't crack eventually. Right? You just have to go through all the numbers and eventually like any padlock gets cracked. I suppose like it dissuades people from like trying it for a while, but how many numbers does a padlock have? Like usually 5 or 6? It's a time issue, literally. Like if you just want to crack a padlock, I think in one day, like any padlock can be cracked. And not only that, but there are ways that I've seen on YouTube where people can just open padlocks without much effort. Like there's ways around it that you can do it a lot faster. So if you want to buy a lock, just buy one with a key. Such a dumb idea to get a padlock. Yeah, like putting a padlock on a door is the dumbest idea. I guess like one for a bike, it's a lot easier because like, okay, well, if you have your bike in a public place, like no one is going to crouch there and try to figure out the 1,000 combinations. But if you have like a door that's supposed to, I don't know, be to a warehouse or something, then you can have a person that stays there all night. Over 5 attempts, it logs in your IP. Ah, I see what you did there. Lockpicking lawyer shows you how to pick a lock. Look, obviously nothing is 100% safe, but I would feel safer with with an actual lock than a padlock, is what I'm saying. Anyway, right. It's been fun. I need to think of a title for this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the super chats. I hope I entertained you a little bit. And tomorrow I'm going to start streaming a little bit earlier. But more importantly, don't forget, we're going to be watching RoboCop next Sunday. See you on my Discord.